Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Sim Blackblade and welcome back to my channel. Now before I start, I would like to apologize to you guys. I know it's been a long time since I made a video or uploaded anything on my channel. You guys have to understand I have an 8-hour job from Mondays to Fridays, and add to that, I'm playing 2 games which require an investment of time when it comes to making them because you need a lot of time when it comes to getting your gear and getting your levels up and all of that in order for the build to work. Alright, so with that said, let's get into the build proper. We are going to make a I am not at a very good start with this video, but anyway, the build will revolve around using the brand new and improved Raiment of 1,000 Storms, which means that we are going to be using all of the 6-piece of the gear, and we are not going to be using the Ring of Royal Grandeur for this build. Instead, we are going to be using the Bastion's Will, or the Ring of Focus and the Ring of Restraint. Alright, so I said before we are going to be using all of the 6-piece set bonus, which is located on the boots, on your pants, on your gloves, on your chest piece, on your shoulders, and on your helm. Now, the thing that will make the build work is by getting the in-GEOM Sword. Now, one of the reasons why it took me so long to actually make a video about this is that it took me about 50,000 blood shards in order to just get the in-GEOM, and this weapon is actually pretty hard to find. But if you're lucky, it's all about the RNG. Sometimes you're lucky and sometimes you're not. In my case, I haven't been lucky enough to get the in-GEOM early in the game, so I got it kind of late, probably after 15,000 or even at 20,000 blood shards. Now what this does is we get a 10-second cooldown reduction for 15 seconds after killing an elite pack. So it kind of works like the Bane of the Powerful. So what that does is we get that 10-second cooldown reduction for 15 seconds after we kill an elite pack. So what that means is that we are going to be able to use the dashing strike almost infinitely. Now I'm saying almost infinitely because after we use that all of the charges, we get a 0.5 second something cooldown before we actually get to use it again. So it's not actually infinite, and we cannot get that into 0 even if we wanted to. Alright, so for our primary weapon, any weapon will do. The reason that I'm using this one is that it rolled as the highest single or one-hand weapon that I could get. But for most of the builds, what they are actually using for their main hand is the Envious Blade, or vice versa. You could use the in-GEOM for your main hand and then use the Envious Blade for your other, or for your offhand weapon. The reason that people are using this is to take advantage of the 100% critical chance against enemies which has full health, which means that you will get the maximum damage output from the dashing strike on your first hit. So if you could get this into into an ancient type, then go ahead and get that one. I've had already 5 of these, and I just couldn't really get it into an ancient type. So that's one of the reasons why I'm just using the Sledge Fist instead. So again, we are going to be using the Raiment of 1,000 Storms from all of our 6 parts of our gear. For our rings, we are going to be using the brand new and improved Bastion's Will. Now, as you can see there, when we hit with a resource generating attack, we get a damage buff of 50% increased damage for 5 seconds, and when we hit with a resource spending attack, we get another 50% increased damage for 5 seconds. Now, this stacks on top of each other. So by the time that we get the 100% bonus, what I mean is by the time that we activate both of these bonus, we are getting the 100% bonus for our dashing strike on the next succeeding attacks that we do after we get the bonus. So if you can get the critical hit, the trifecta on your rings, similar. What is going on with me? This is what happens when you don't talk English for a long time. Anyway, if you could get the trifecta bonus on each each of the ring, that would be phenomenally great. As you can see, critical hit damage, critical hit chance, and then the dexterity, and then of course damage, similar to the other ring, dexterity, critical hit damage, and critical hit chance, and then get the socket. Now for our belt, there's nothing more to use other than the witching R, simply because it adds an additional 50% critical hit damage bonus to to our overall critical hit damage pool. If you cannot get a witching R, the next belt that you could probably get is or the next good belt that you could probably get is the Blackthorn's belt. Of course, you need to combine that with your amulet so that you get the 250 vitality and you get the increased damage against elite by 10%. So that's the next option if you cannot get the witching R. Else, of course, there's another third option using the crown set. What this does is we gain a 500 increased vitality to our vitality pool, and we get the bonus of the gain 25% run speed, and then we get the immune to knockback effects when it comes to our bracers. But other than that, the only real options that you have is to get the witching R for your belt. Now for your bracers, any bracers will do. Then again, I'm using the Nemesis bracers over here simply because we get that we get the bonus that the shrines will spawn an enemy elite pack or a champion pack when we use this one, which will further increase our chances of getting legendary items. Other than that, again, you can use the crown buffs bracers set if you want to, or you could go ahead and use the Reaper's wraps instead. It really depends on what works for you and what doesn't. For amulet, any amulet will do, just as long as you get the trifecta over there. Specifically the critical hit damage, it is very important to increase your critical hit damage as huge as possible, because what you want to do with your dashing strike is you'd really want to kill an elite pack with just one blow. So the higher the critical hit damage, the better it is, or the more effective the build will be. Other than that, you can use again the Blackthorn set for your amulet if you want to, or if you want, you could get a elemental damage mitigation amulet, just as long as you could roll critical hit damage, critical hit chance, and then get a socket over there. That would be great. Alright, so that's it for the weapons. Let's go into the skill. Any primary skill will do. The only reason that you will need the primary skill is to activate the 50% damage buff, and then for the rest of the skill you will be doing a lot of damage. What I mean is a lot of dashing strike. So again, any primary skill will do. I'm using the usual primary skill, which is the Fist of Thunder with the Thunderclap, because it's the fastest of all the set. Oh, again, I forgot to mention why we need the with the Raiment of 1,000 Storm set. Simply because if you can see on the 6-piece set bonus, your Spirit Regenerators increase the weapon damage of Dashing Strike to 12,500% for 6 seconds. So that makes the Dashing Strike, absolutely broken when it comes to dealing damage. I mean, look at that, 12,500%. That is a huge amount of damage, in my opinion, probably the highest damage all throughout the game. Although I'm not entirely sure about that. But then anyway. So let's get into the other skill set. For our mantras, we are going to be using the Mantra of Conviction for the additional 24% damage for 2 seconds if we activate it, or for the additional 16% damage for any enemies which are located 30 yards of you. Or if you want to further increase your resistances, you can always go with the Mantra of Salvation with the Perseverance rune for the 40% additional increase to all of our elemental resistances. But since we're only doing T6, you won't really need that a lot. What you really want is to deal as much damage as possible. So that's where we are going to be using the Mantra of Conviction. The next skill will be the Blinding Flash with the rune Faith in Light. Now what this does is once the enemies are blinded, they will take an additional 29% increased damage for 3 seconds. Now this will complement one of our passive skills, which is the Relentless Assault. What what that will do is, if we blind them, aside from getting the 29% damage, we are also getting the 20% increase, more damage from blind, from blind monsters. So if we blind them, we get the additional 20%. On top of that, we get the additional 29%. So we are going to be using an exorbitant amount of damage. What I mean is, we are going to be causing an exorbitant amount of damage with our dashing strike. Now, with our dashing strike, we are going to be using the Radiance rune, simply because we have a fire skill bonus here of 16%. So I want to take advantage of that. So that's why I'm going to be using the Radiance. But then again, any rune will do. It doesn't really matter. But if you could get an elemental effect over here, which increases some sort of fire, some sort of elemental skill on your bracers, then just go ahead and use whatever element it is. You can use the blinding speed over here for a 40% increased dodge chance, or you could use with the way of the falling star for the 20% increased movement speed. But either way, any of these rune will do, depending on the situation, of course. And I forgot to mention that if you could get a roll similar to this one, dexterity, life, and then resistances on the fourth property, I suggest that you you increase the dashing strike damage by a percentage. As you can see, I have it at 14% over here, but the maximum is of course 15%. If you get it to 15%, then that would be awesome too. Alright, when it comes to our fourth skill, we are going to be using Epiphany with the insight for the additional 45 spirit regeneration. Now, the reason that I'm going to be using this one is that when you are doing rifts, there are some times when you cannot get into another elite pack for an interval of 15 seconds. So what that does is, we could regenerate a lot of spirit, so that we could still use the dashing strike as often as possible. That is, of course, until we get into an elite pack, and then we get and then we kill the elite pack, and then once again we get the 15-second bonus of 10-second cooldown, which you will see later. Alright, so that's the only reason that why we're using the Epiphany. For our next skill, we're going to be using the Mystic Ally with the Fire Ally, simply because we just want to, again, further increase our DPS as much as possible. For our skills, passive skills, we are going to be using the Relentless Assault, Beacon of Ether, the Harmony again, and the Exalted Soul for the increased maximum spirit by 50, and we get that spirit regeneration by 4 per second. The only reason that we are going to be using this one is for the additional spirit, maximum spirit of 50, so that we could use at least 4 or 5, I believe, dashing strike before we get the activation from the in-game. Alright, so that's about it. As you can see, our DPS is pretty huge at 1.5 million. And we are going to what the hell is going on? We are going to be finishing the rifts, quite fast with this build, as you are going to see right now. This is probably the fastest, the fastest farming build out there, even faster than the, the whirlwind build. As you can see, we have just killed an elite pack, and the in-GEOM has activated. What is going on? I really hate this map. So basically, we can activate the Oh, we have a goblin over here. As you can see, we can activate or spam the dashing strike, which would make the build a lot more faster. Or what I mean is, which would make our farming a lot more faster. Hold on. I really hate maps like this. So as you can see, the cooldown has just expired. So that's the time that we are going to be using the Epiphany, so that at least we could use the we still could use the dashing strike to our advantage. Oh my god! Shit! I made a mistake there. Fuck! I teleported. Sorry about that. But either way, it's still a very fast build when it comes to farming. Yeah. So let's just get some more elite packs. Oh god, you know, sometimes it's broken. I don't know, it doesn't go through specific areas when you know, when there's a wall like in front of you, like it doesn't want to move forward. Alright, we have a channeling pylon right here, and this will basically make us, you know, almost invincible. Alright, so we've got what do you call this? We've got a legendary item over there. So as you can see, we want to take advantage of that. Whoa! We want to take advantage of the channel, or the channeling pylon that we did, or that we got. So as you can see, you know, we are almost done. Oh my god, shit, I've used it too much. Alright, so whatever. You know, once we got the in-GEOM activated by killing an elite pack, the rest will be, you know, fairly easy. So there we go, another elite pack kill, really fast. It's even faster than, I don't know, I haven't actually done any other builds, or I've only done 2 builds, so I'm not exactly sure if the wizard or the what do you call this, or the witch doctor, or the or any other class for this matter can be as fast as this one. Alright, so here's the boss right now. So watch how fast we can kill this. Just a few hits, you know. You can even go with 1 hit on that one, but yeah, we're still lacking some, you know, some items which are not, which have not rolled into, what do you call this, into into an ancient type. But if you could get every single part of your gear into an ancient type, you know, you could technically just probably kill them in 1 hit. Alright, so again, let me know what you think about the build in the comment section down below, and thank you all so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed the content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I'm gonna see you guys on the next part of my video. Have a good one. You guys just keep an eye on it. We are going to finish this rift very fast, which will allow us to basically blood